Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So I hope you had a really nice weekend, getting back into the motion of things, and we're really taking a look back at things as of recent. So I thought it was a good time to bring everybody up to scratch and really get everybody's mindsets in the reality that I'm seeing. And this really is a reality currently, and it's something we're very fortunate to have. I'm going to be going over some other stuff where I think we lack energy, where I think we could make up for that energy. Once again, these are just my opinions, and there are other things. There's a lot more complex ways you can go into this. And if a developer's watching, he's going, oh, you've simplified it and you've missed this and you've missed that. I get it, code base, repositories, all of those different things. But as it currently stands, my point from all of this is now is the time to build. If you want to start a validator, you want to get involved with the blockchain, now is probably the time to do it from my perspective. So we do have an active set, and we're very fortunate that it is as strong as it is with such a poor reward to validator ratio. And what I mean by that is a validator like myself makes just enough to cover all of my running costs. And I've got servers, back-end servers. We've got lots of different ins and outs here when it comes to what we have to cover with our costs. Obviously, we've got the node operation, power, internet, business grade internet, stuff like that. It all adds up. So me as a validator, I'm just about breaking even. So I can't imagine, well, no, that's wrong. I can imagine what the people below feel like, because I was down there. I fought from the very beginning of this to where I am now. I've never been handed anything. I have 100% proved to this community time and time again that I'm here for them. I'm not going to bail out on you just because times have got tough. I'm not earning money. I'm not getting anything out of it. It's not about that kind of life here. We are about the huddle life, and huddle we shall. So as you can see, we've got the Oracle pool. This is around 225 billion LUNC. It's about this much. If you add the USTC, convert it, it's very average. Same with the community pool. If you convert it all down to LUNC, you've got 2.2 in that community pool, and that is building up. So with any blockchain, it really does need a few things to operate moving forward, and that's endpoint infrastructure and wallet infrastructure support. We're very fortunate because we're listed across so many different CEXs and DEXs that there's just tons of these kind of wallets that support us. There's no shortage of it. Even all nodes have wallet support on their website. You can see everything mostly from their wallet support. So everything as it stands right now, there's always been this hesitant question: is support going to continue for Terra Classic being Columbus 5 from TFL? And the answer I'm getting from people who are in direct communication with those in TFL have stated V3 fully supports Station Terra Classic in the same manner that it would support a cache or osmosis. And the support is full, and that's what I've been told. You can go and look at that on Twitter. It is readily available. They did respond. If you just go into their replies here, we'll quickly bring you over. Don't want to go off of a trust me, bro, do I? So you can see here the Station mobile app will be updated, including with a fix for this issue when Station V3 is released in mid-November. I then had a conversation with that person who then explained, yes, the support is full, it will be there, and it will continue to be there from what they are aware, and they're in direct communicate with those people at TFL. This is very important moving forward. So for me, we've absolutely nailed this part as it stands, right? And it's the same with the endpoints. And the reason why I'm saying this is because currently, as it stands, the support is there. If you want to build, you can build. If you want to deploy, you can deploy. If you want to test, you can test. If you want to sit on the chain, you can sit on the chain. If you want to spin up a node, you can spin up a node. If you want to burn coins, you can burn coins. You can do anything you want. Start an NFT project, go for it. Everything's there. Everything is working as best as it can be right now. And the only thing that's going to make everything better is getting the V3 update from TFL. So we even have support through Trust Wallet. We've got support through Ledger. Of all places, we've got one of the most secure wallets known realistically in crypto, the most well-known, which is Ledger. And we've got support through those. It's not something that should be sneezed at. So for me, we have a stable wallet infrastructure moving forward. We've already gone over the endpoints. It was part of the United vision, okay? And with this, there's always going to be the thing in the back of everybody's minds. It's not free forever. And I 100% respect that. I 100% from the top to the bottom, I respect that. But as it stands currently, it is free, and we should utilize that to the best of our benefit. And guess what? We're doing that. Now, if we wanted to, we could pay $2,000 to the TFL Foundation and get access to the same infrastructure that TFL themselves utilize to run their blockchain. Their technology is so good, and their R&D department has been so good in that manner that they're now able to just offer it out for a nominal $2,000 sign-up fee, and you've got endpoint provisions. It's for me, it's always about understanding your environment. Okay, understanding what's going on. What can we save time? What can we save money on? Is this feasible for us to do? And what is it going to allow us to do with the saved time and resources? Well, it's quite simple. We can spend the time getting our hub set up. And that's what the L1 are currently building. From what I've been made aware directly from Gevik, is that this is being built, right? So after everything, after the backdoor deals, all of the ins, all of the outs, all of the ups, all of the downs, we're back to the proposed proposal from us to the L1 team, and they're playing that out now. So what's going to come first? I'll try and link the video to it in the top right hand corner. If not, it will be at the end of the video. If not, it'll be in the description section. So do check that out. I have gone over this. They are now following out that plan. It's being prepared, and that's why I've got it in amber. But at the same time, right, we need to understand we've never had a website hub. We've never had a website hub. If you need to know anything, you can grab it from the documents section down here. And everything is more or less the same. It's like, realistically, the differences are very minimal, and what is available isn't enough for you to gain the adequate information. For example, for things like the swagger, if the swagger's been set up wrong, it's all very complex. But what I'm saying is we've never ever struggled without it. We really haven't. So moving forward, we have everything we need right now. We've got the infrastructure support, right? We've got a decent Oracle pool. We've got a community pool that is building up. We've got a strong validator set. The aim of the game now is everybody needs to build. Everybody needs to build cool stuff. Think of ways to do it. And some people will always say this, you know, when you go build something HCC, I have ProjectLUNCBurn, I have LUNCpenguins. There's so many things that I've built now. The list has got to a point where if I go over it, it looks like I'm sort of like growing my own head at that point. And I'm not about that life. What I'm about is supporting this blockchain. And someone said to me on the weekend on Twitter, you know, oh, well, you know, I'll follow you for now. And it's like, I don't want anybody to follow me. I want people to go and do their own research. I want them to take the time to look at these things and look at other people's opinions and try to better understand the stable reality of this chain. And the simple answer to this is it's stable. We have everything we need right now. The L1 are off developing the L1. They need to develop a little bit better on that. They definitely need to get better on their PR front. They're developing an L1 wallet, independent hub, website, everything. That it's going to take some time, but they're doing it. And this is the consequences of them messing around. And I guess that's kind of why they've decided to work for free, whatever. But what we do know is this is stable. So let's look at some of the current issues on chain from my point of view, which I think are quite hefty. And they're things that we could probably take a better look at and think to ourselves, well, if we corrected these things, people would likely build, things would be a lot smoother. We'd have the support of CEXs. We may have a better sense of direction, especially with the United Vision. So centralized voting power is a huge issue on chain. That is being solved, so we can cross that out. There's nothing we can do once we implement that module. It just has to work its magic. So there is a huge lack of direction. And I just think this is because everybody wants there to be a leader, a person who's there and takes the rap for everything. It's just not going to work like that. Governance is management in itself. If you want to see leadership, look to what's been passed by governance. If we all respect governance, you've got your leadership. That's the whole point of a decentralized community. So we do need to get CEX cooperation. I'm going to be doing a video on this. It may have dropped already. If it has, I'll try and link it. Same again, description or at the end. Do check it out. But I think this is something we need to jump on sooner rather than later, especially in this time where everything's very low. We could do with any kind of support that we could find, whether it be burn affiliation, sign up affiliations, anything to get people talking about LUNC. It really is that simple when it comes down to it. We have a very, very minimal and bleak outlook as to the support and chain integration as it stands with everything. So there's not like migration guides, there's not validator setup guides. There's so many of these small little things people could do, but they don't do. And I think my guide videos are some of my most viewed videos on YouTube. And it's like a small YouTuber at the time, like me, was taking the time to do that, but not one other person's ever thought to themselves, let's do that. The only thing that ever came close to it was the dojo Tobias was designing. But ultimately, people have this really bad, and it's not saying that he's like this, I'm just saying in general, that people focus on the wrong things at the wrong time. And then when it comes time to focus, like, oh, we should have focused on this way before. It's like, yeah, well, I said that. So the heavy taxing events, as a validator, you're taxed more than likely 3 times, going from withdrawing your commission to actually getting it to where you can use it to pay for your running costs. It's not good. And that's the same for projects. We really need to figure this out. And then overall is the lack of cooperation. And I'm not talking about cooperating with people like the 6 samurais who are more like 6 ronins. Not going to get into that. I'm not talking about cooperation with those sort of people. What I'm talking about is cooperation with the people like the L1. For example, Hexagon could have done so much more than seek out something that realistically, if you just used your brain and used your noggin, you would have figured out that you had it for free. Instead, why not design something that we actually need? You just don't see that. Instead, the easier option is to just pack up, possibly move off to another chain, rebrand, and call it whatever they want to call it at the end of the day, but put a cross in it, stick a pin in it, or whatever. It shouldn't be like that. It should be what is actually needed on chain right now. And the simple fact is nobody ever wants to put themselves at risk. Nobody ever wants to put themselves in a situation where if the chain dies, they lose everything. And that's kind of a difference between the way I build and the way a lot of other people build. If this chain dies, I lose the node, I lose LUNCpenguins, I lose ProjectLUNCBurn, I lose all of the modules, all of the metric sites, every smart contract, and I mean all of the ins and outs, all of the work on the metaverse I've been working on. We lose it all. And for the simple fact that you've built it all into the blockchain. So it's heavily reliant on what the blockchain's doing. And this is always going to be the biggest difference. Is I've put myself in a situation where I do have lots to lose because I support this blockchain and I believe it can get to a better place than it is now. Doing these videos is so required at the moment, I think. So realistically, this is a real good, stable reality. These are some of the current issues I'm seeing. So let's move down. Let's look at what we can do to bring more for our chain. So more validators. If you're listening, go spin up a node. You want to do it? Go and do it. This is the time to do it. Get involved. Dig your heels in. Crypto is for everybody. It doesn't have any borders. It's not going to judge you because, I don't know, maybe you've got a pet mosquito or something. Maybe you're into mosquitoes and you've got pet mosquitoes and you think maybe people wouldn't like that. It doesn't matter. Crypto doesn't judge you. Okay. It doesn't judge you. It accepts you for who you are. We need more projects. With more projects, realistically, we need to figure out the dynamic tax module. We need to figure out a way to remove these heavy taxing events, whether it comes through project whitelisting, just simply from the burn tax. It's really going to help bring people to our chain. And that's what we need. We need more chain guides. If anything, we need to pay a company $8,000 to basically take the original guide that's provided by TFL and alter it for our chain. It's not that costly. You can outsource these kind of things in Vietnam and all sorts of different, even Ireland's great for outsourcing to get things like that done. On chain swaps, you have so many people, instead of building into the chain a swap system, they'll build a DEX, or they'll build a protocol, or they'll build some sort of port swapping system. Nobody ever builds anything for the chain. The chain needs a swapping system. It needs a couple of pools and it needs a swapping system. It's very important. Now, this is something I'm going to be going over in an independent video probably later on during the week, and it's competitive staking yields. If you don't know what Stride is, get to know what Stride is. Competitive staking yields, I think, are actually needed on our chain at this point where, for example, let's say the APR is 15% if you lock up with a 21-day lockup, right? If you then say to yourselves, well, let's provide a 6% yield and they can have their lockup for only 14 days. Why are we not doing things like this? Why are we not creating a competitive environment? The thing is, right, is everybody's more or less being here for a paycheck. So at the end of the day, just work to get their paycheck. They're never thinking in this inventive mindset where they're like, this technology is great. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's bring all these different things in. Everybody's always a problem finder. There'll never be a problem solver. You lack problem solvers in life, full stop, but you need them. You need them to get stuff done. You need them to envision stuff. So a lot of developers have laughed about this, and I think this is quite funny because it's very hard for someone to comprehend, because I say, let's create a developers pool with a developers spend type proposal. They laugh. They laugh for the simple fact because, well, what do we need to do that? We've got the community pool. Yes, the community pool, chaps. Think about the words community pool, for the community, yes? A developers pool is for the developers. So as it stands, right, this is not just a pool. It's an attraction, right? It's a wave. It's a flex of our muscles of our chain. Look at us. We've got a developers pool. Oh, you want to come build on our chain? Come on, come apply from our developers pool. And instead of having, right, this issue every spend quarter where we're like, oh, we haven't got enough money for it. We're not budgeting anything. We don't get to the end of a spend quarter and say, so, well, we've got this much in a community pool. Let's put some in this pool. Let's put some in that pool. Let's put some in a project pool. There's all of these different sort of things we could do, and we just don't do them. It's at this point, it really hurts that I have to work full time to be here and do all of the things that I do, because ultimately I am one of those people who've got a lot of good ideas. I've got a vision of where this should be. Is it right? Is it correct? Probably not. But does anybody have a full guide as to how to build a blockchain, how to do everything? No one even knows how to do decentralization correctly. It's always just the same thing. Oh, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Oh, it doesn't work. You've got all this technology. You've got all of these different means of doing stuff. We just don't see it. Bug bounties, so important. You can see I've left some blank here. Don't worry about those. It's just for, OCD purposes. Ignore those three. Bug bounties. Last but not least is a bug bounty system. We do need to get this up and running at some point. It's not a lot of work. And the thing is, if you build a basis module for this, you could actually extend it out into a job bounty board. There's so many different things you could do. Once again, we need more visionaries. We need people who are going to say to themselves, this isn't a problem. I've got a solution. Let's get these things done and dusted. Folks, let me know what you think about the list. Sorry about the weird whiteboard drawings throughout all of it. It was so hard as to... I hate speaking and not highlighting things on the screen, but I hope this helps, okay? The ultimate reality of all of this is, at the end of a 20-minute video, the chain's stable. We've got everything we need. I'm going to be monitoring things. The second anything changes, we'd know about it. They'll do announcements. They're not just going to cut the cords of everything and just be like, oh, see you later. It doesn't work like that. The public backlash would be too much. It would just be too much. I'm very excited for the weeks ahead because the price is stabilizing. All right, we're sticking down in this area at the moment where we've come down once, we've come up, we've come down again, and we're starting to come back out of it. I'll do a price TNA at some point during the week for you folks to bring you up to scratch. But other than that, stay safe, stay humble. I hope you had a good weekend. Sorry for the long video. First one of the week coming back. Well, might not be. Who knows? I'll catch you in the next one.